Just because a plant is biggest and strongest at the farm market or the store where you buy it doesn't mean it's going to be the best for your garden. Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Ralph.
I'm Dad.
I'm Matt.
Hi, I'm Autumn.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And girls.
And we want to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, consider subscribing because we can do a lot of things on the farm, but one thing we can't do is grow this channel without your help. It is really starting to feel like March in Pennsylvania. Yesterday it rained all day, and now it's like 30 degrees, but the wind chill has it down to 15.
Gotta water her down.
Valve on this line. We just got down into the gutter connect greenhouse. The girls have been filling trays. These trays are called 806s. They have 8 sections with 6 different holes in them. And these are the trays that we use for selling flowers and vegetable plants. It's time to get started with pansies. You don't want to get started with pansies till the ground temperature is at 45 degrees. And as you can see, we've got a lot of pansies that need to be started. So the girls, they're going to be transplanting pansies basically all day. So this is what you're going to be doing all day.
Hopefully, yes. As long as we keep having room, we're going to have to get those greenhouses done down there.
Oh my goodness, I better get out of here. The girls are trying to give me more work. We've moved up into the germination greenhouse. We've got to get started on some flowers that Rhonda needed. Now, if you remember, these are all things that we have seeded ourselves. We've got a few vegetables down here, but most of these are flowers. And over here, we've even got more flowers, and there's some spinach that was planted on this side. And I just wanted to show you our onions again. Also, I've got a couple tomatoes here. I just want to show you them and let you see how they are growing. We're just about at 85, 86 degrees in here, and as you can see, the cactus family is very happy.
We're going to start planting some flowers here first. Then we're going to move along to probably going to plant some peppers. 500 seeds of each kind of pepper we have, so we can have some earlier peppers. Then we're going to move along to plant cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower for us for the field. So we're going to need probably about 10,000 between the cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kohlrabi. That'll plant us pretty close to an acre of cole crops to get started.
Matthew has the morning off. He normally handles all the tagging and the books, but since he's not here, I'm doing it. My job is to basically keep track of everything that we've planted. We've already planted 1 tray of orange impatiens, 1 tray of purple impatiens, and then I tag the trays. What are we planting next?
White impatiens.
So we're planting white impatiens. I know we're doing 1 tray, so I just have to write down white impatiens, and then I put the number of trays that we planted, and I have the date set here. So I'll remember for next year when we planted the white impatiens, the purple impatiens, the orange impatiens. So we know for the following year when to plant them to keep up with our previous year.
Right under there.
I put the other tray on top to pack it down so that you can plant the seed in, and then we put dirt over top again so that the seed's buried. It's not just on top of the tray.
So everybody's got a different job right now. I'm working on tagging and making sure that the right tags get on the right trays. Dad is running the seeder, Daniel is filling the trays, and then Ralph is running the filled trays back and forth and covering the seeded trays. So we just planted 2 petunia varieties we've never planted before. Frost Fire Petunia and Frost Blue Petunia. And I didn't know what they looked like until I looked them up, and I'm gonna put them on the screen. Tell me what you guys think. We've got Frost Fire Petunias and Frost Blue Petunias. Which one do you like more?
Okay.
We just got finished with the flowers that Aunt Rhonda needed us to plant. There's nearly 12,000 flowers that we just seeded. So it's gonna take a little bit for them to come up, but now we're moving on to vegetables.
Red cabbage, Azuro, Melissa, which is a Savoy cabbage, which is a wrinkled leaf cabbage. Next we moved on to Jade Cross, which is Brussels sprouts. Then we moved on to Clarify, which is a cauliflower. We're moving on to Green Magic, which is a broccoli. Blue Vantage, which is a cabbage. Kohlrabi, it's the variety's name is Winter. We planted kale, variety name is Winterboro. And then we planted Ashley, which is a spinach.
You guys will see us constantly doing more and more varieties of cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower for sales. And you're probably thinking it would be easier for us to just do all the cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower at one time and just hold them in the greenhouse until people need to take them out and sell them. And that would be easier on us, but when you start these plants in these small little plug trays and then you move them to bigger trays, a problem can happen as they get older. They start to get root bound, which basically means there's more roots than there is soil. So if we were to take these plants and hold them in our greenhouses for so long, they would actually start to make a head. You know, the cauliflower head, the broccoli head, the cabbage head. Now, if they don't have enough soil and it starts to make a head, the head won't get as large as we want it to. So that's the reason why we start new varieties all the time. That's why we'll do new plantings all the time, because we don't want these root-bound plants to go home to our customers and then they only get a tiny head on their cabbage or broccoli. That way our customers get the best product they can, and yeah, it can get a little annoying doing constant plantings of cabbage, broccoli, and things like that, but it's better for the customers, and we don't want them getting these tiny little heads. Come on, no one wants that. Now, a lot of the times when people are starting their garden, they want these large plants, you know, these giant pots. But as you can see, this right here, that's not root bound. There's a lot of soil there. It's not pulling up all of the soil. We're gonna transplant these into bigger pots. And when these get ready to sell, they'll probably be about the length of my hand in height. Now, a lot of times when people go to larger places and they'll buy these plants that are so big and they think they're getting an early start on their garden, it's not gonna benefit them in the long run. Their plants are gonna be root bound, they're not gonna grow the way they want them to, and they're almost gonna be shocked when they move them from the pot into the soil. So there's something for you guys to think about when you are getting into your garden, when you are starting to plant. Just because a plant is biggest and strongest at the farm market or the store where you buy it, doesn't mean it's gonna be the best for your garden.
Tell the people, Andrew, tell them.
All right, we can tell the people we are officially gonna start being the Veggie Boys again. We've got all of our trays ready. These are for cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower. Now we're still doing a few more plug trays. Dad, what varieties are we gonna be planting?
I'm planting bell peppers right now. Revolution. We're planting bell peppers right now, just a little bit for people that want to plant early. We're going to plant bell pepper is Revolution. I'm going to plant some jalapenos, 1 flat of jalapenos. And I have a flat of hot cherry we're going to plant. That's hot cherry 102. And then we're going to plant 1 flat of Iberia, which is a long hot frying pepper. Then we have giant Marconi, which is a sweet frying pepper. Cubanelle, which is a light green sweet frying pepper. We're gonna plant some serranos, which is called Altiplano. I never planted them before, but we're trying them.
Now we're doing a flat of each variety, and when we say we're doing a flat, that's 512 seeds. Now we do a lot more later on, but remember, this is just for the people that want to start early. All right, and I gotta keep a track of all my notes here, so.
That's the long hot. Sorry.
Now we just got all these peppers seeded and they're over here on the hotbed. Now, peppers germinate best between 70 and 95 degrees, and that's why people have a lot of problems raising peppers. They'll take their peppers home, put them in the ground, and the ground temperature is not warm enough yet. So that's why sometimes when you plant pepper plants that you get from a farm market, you get from Lowe's, you get from any large place, it may seem like your peppers need a little longer to get going. That's because they like the warmer ground temperatures. And that's why it almost seems like if you plant pepper plants, they stay that size for like 2 weeks because they have to get acclimated to the soil, and then out of nowhere they start to grow.
I wanted to plant 5 flats of each kind of broccoli for myself, but my wise son says we can't plant 5 because the planter only holds 4 flats at a time. It would be too confusing to plant 1 flat between 4 rows. So now we have to go and plant 4 flats of 5 different kinds of broccoli.
Can you tell me what varieties of broccoli we're going to be planting for ourselves?
We're planting 400 Diplomat, 400 Emerald Crown, 400 Asteroid, and 400 Imperial broccoli, and 400 of Green Magic.
Something you need to remember about all these different types of broccoli that we're planting for ourselves, they're all different day varieties. So some broccoli comes on sooner, some broccoli comes on later. That's why we do so many different kinds. And when these varieties all start getting ready, it's going to be about the middle of summer, and these varieties can handle those hotter temperatures. That's a pretty quick change. You're good at that.
I'm getting a lot of grief today.
Rough put in this 3. All I know is this Ralph guy over here. Gosh, he was complaining last night. Alright, so you told me you were getting off. I said I'm getting off. Check it out, guys. 2,000 early heads of broccoli right here.
We're moving on to cauliflower now. We're going to plant 400 Aquarius and 400 Candid Charm.
I had a video where we picked a head of broccoli that literally weighed 5 pounds. It was giant. Oh, it's like a small tree. Look at this thing. Oh, that's a fat broccoli. Oh my word.
We need another basket.
Andrew, will you marry me?
No, Dad, that's weird. Come on. So, Dad, what will this broccoli go for back at the farm market?
$1.50.
And there were some people that were like, oh my goodness, you're giving the broccoli away. Because I think we sold it for like $1.50 or $2. It doesn't matter. We do the math with our field and what we raise. We get about $3 for a head of cauliflower. And we'll get anywhere from $1 to $1.50 on broccoli, depending on the year. We've done the math. We know we're going to make money on what we plant. So if you guys ever see us planting stuff and you're like, oh, that's too cheap, why are you selling it for that much? We know what we can make, and there's no reason to raise our prices if we're gonna do okay with what we have planted.
The pressure's on.
We're moving on to cabbage now for our own self out in the field. 400 of Charmant, which is an early cabbage, 65 day. Then we're gonna plant 800 Blue Vantage, 76 day. Then we're going to plant 800 Capture, and then we're going to plant 800 Vantage Point, which is a 90 day. Then we're going to plant 800 Taurus, which is a 100 day. And then we're going to finish off with 4 of Expect, which is a 105 day.
there we have it. We now have our early broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, kohlrabi, and even Chinese cabbage planted. Now this stuff germinates really well. We don't have to put it on the heated tables. We will leave that for the 512s. We put some cabbage on there just because we don't have the room. The next step is to move a lot of these flowers and these other things out of here so that we have more room for planting, because these things are going to get too big, and as we mentioned before, we don't want them to get root bound.
And if we plant them in these bigger ones, instead of planting them in the 500s and having to transplant them from the 500s to the 98s, we can put them straight into the 98s. And we'll go through later, and if there's any ones that don't come up, because if they don't germinate, then we'll replace those. Also, if we have any doubles, we can move them to a hole that missed one, and so we only have to do a quarter of the transplanting as we normally would.
They're for us, so if they're not perfect, it's not a big deal. We're not selling them.
All right, everybody, we just got finished with work, and as you can see, the table is empty because it is date night. So this is where we're gonna end the video today. I wanna thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.